For quite a while now, I've been looking for a project. I always liked cars, always liked old cars. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a fabricator. I've never restored an old car, but it's something I've always been interested in. I've always wanted to learn. So for quite a while now, I've been looking for that perfect project. And honestly, I didn't know what I was looking for. I have limited time, resources, talent. So I had this magical unicorn almost in my head of what the perfect car would be, and I just knew at some point I would see it and just have to have it. And it turns out I drove by an old friend of mine's house who I actually worked for back when I was in high school, and he had this sitting in his front yard. And I went and looked at it, and it was perfect. It needs restored, obviously. I think it'll be a really cool hot rod. I really like the 50s stuff. And it has the perfect amount, to me, of it needs some body work. It needs some rust repair in the floor pans, but it's not just completely holed out. It's not extensively hard to work on. These cars are actually pretty easy to work on. So I went and talked to him about it. And it turns out it was something he was looking to get rid of. He wasn't really invested in it. And he also told me, he's like, hey, I actually had just gotten that car, and it's got a parts car to go with it that I haven't seen yet. It's like, okay, great. So we linked up and brought this car to my house, and then we went over to pick up the parts car, which is actually this 4-door. And we got there, neither of us had ever seen the parts car yet, and it was literally in a pine thicket. We had to cut down 2-inch pine trees just to get to it. But once we got it drug out and got looking at it, wow, this thing's in really good shape. As far as the trim and the body panels, it's actually in better shape than the 2-door. And then once I got it home and got looking at it, we found out it's complete. There's a motor, a transmission, radiator, battery, everything's in it. And in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, it was very dirty. I literally started cleaning that car with a pitchfork, and it had pine needles and leaves halfway up the windows. So cleaned it out, got it cleaned up, and the floorboards in it and stuff are pretty rusty, but it's definitely not ruined. And like I said, it's a complete car. So at this point, I'm really hoping that this can be a restoration project. I would really like to pull it off the frame, make it nice, make it pretty again, and be a bit of a hot rod. I'm not really dead set yet on what I want as far as drivetrain horsepower, but I know kind of a street strip car, just a cool old hot rod. And with this car, since it's turned out to be so much nicer than we ever guessed it would have been, I'm actually just going to try to get it going. I'm going to try to get it running, go through the fuel system, go through the brakes, make sure everything's functioning, and drive it. I'm going to cover up the holes in the floor with something and put seats in it and try to take off. It's currently a 6-volt car, so just for some starting reliability, I'm going to change it to 12 volt, and then just do whatever needs to be done to make it good and roadworthy, and then go from there. After getting the cars home, the first thing was to try and get the 4-door car to start. Initially, I only wanted to do the bare minimum to get it running, so after making sure the engine wasn't seized, we tested the starter and found the solenoid was sticking. So while I took the starter off, Dad helped me out and pulled the carb. Once the starter was off, I took it to a friend's shop to take a look at it and see if we could get it working correctly. So you're good.
Clean all that up real good.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? So are we thinking that this just season up in here? Or?
It may be a little weak because it pulls it in, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It ratchets it.
Yeah.
What hook's there? Got a pin in it?
This, yeah. And I took the pin out.
Yeah. I just clean all that up good. Wire brush this real good.
Okay.
And then get you some sandpaper and
all right.
real lightly sand that.
see what it do. Yeah, but it's like he's not the smartest. Oh, I took off. I was gone.
Flew and somebody about lit the coop.
Oh, not about. I was not waiting around to see.
That it is.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like cameras?
0.
0?
Yes.
Oh no, you're doing great.
It even shows it.
After throwing the starter back on the car and cleaning up the carburetor, I installed a 12-volt coil and filed the distributor points just to try to get a good solid spark. And then a few days later, Mark came over to the house to see if we could actually get the old car to start.
What red wire over there?
Do what?
The big red wire over there.
Yeah, it is a big red wire.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. That was on there.
Somebody's done some wiring on it.
The hood doesn't quite stay all the way up.
We're just gonna build a fire.
We don't have any water, so I hope we don't build a fire. Alright, let's get rid of that. Sweet. Literally, after who knows how many decades of sitting in a thicket, this thing literally started that easy. First try. So after that, we messed with it a little bit more that day, but that gave me the motivation to actually move forward. And from there, we knew that we'd like to get the car to actually run and idle for a while, just to make sure there was no problems with it, like knocking or anything crazy like that once it warmed up. What's that? Yeah. Do what? About a whole can is that. What?